patterns matter. So for removal, sometimes using a carbide can feel a little overwhelming. That's okay. I'm gonna break down different ways to remove product efficiently because time is money. Let's go ahead and jump in. We have a structured gel manicure today, and let's go ahead and start talking about some of these removal patterns that you see different people doing. I call this the dragging method. I just start at the top and I start dragging the product down. This is probably one of the safest ways to start using a carbide because it doesn't catch and you don't get that chatter. Now, if this is where your comfort level is, that's great. I'm so glad you got it this far. Way to go. If this is where you're gonna go, I'll show you. We'll come back to what's next. But continue the dragging method, and your next step with the dragging method is gonna be to try to go a little farther back with your barrel. Use high RPMs. I'm using the safety round top at 25,000 RPMs. That way, it should feel really smooth. Now, what I wanna challenge you to do is to take your carbide barrel, start right here, and just gently do a little rainbow shape. Now I want you to start right here, flat to the nail plate. We do not wanna dig in, and very lightly, just go around. I want to put my bit down and ever so gently just go up towards the proximal fold. Beautiful. Pull the product down. Oop, went a little too deep, but that's okay. Look, that's what happens when you just set the bit down and you're not going in with a pulling motion. We don't want it to just sit and go, That's exactly what that happens right here. We want to make sure that we're pulling the product, not just drilling into it. So actually, I'm pretty glad that happened so I could show you guys. So you're just starting out with the dragging method. This is probably where your comfort level is. Then I want to challenge you, once this feels good, is to start taking off more of the product. I still have a little rim. If this is where you're at, your comfort level, where you're like, don't want to go any farther, you're at a good spot. Keep practicing. Now, your third level would be like, okay, I'm really close to getting all the color off, but I want to go farther, but I'm scared. Take out your carbide bit and either add a sanding band or a diamond medium barrel. Reduce your speed to about 12,000 RPMs, and I'm in the forward direction. So I'm gonna replace my bit right here with a diamond or sanding band, and I'm just gently going to run that bit right on top of the product. Since those little diamond particles are diamond, they're just scratching the last of the product, just like that. Beautiful. Flip my client's hand, or I can just go back up. I can touch her skin and the blades are not gonna cut her. And then ever so gently, just gonna little bit prep that regrowth area. That way my cuticle bits can stay nice and sharp. Beautiful. This is your goal. That is with the drag. Easiest place to start is right there. Now, once we've gotten a little more comfortable, we always want to stay in our comfort zone, but we also wanna stretch. Growth mindset is, hey, I feel good and confident. I know I can take on the next level. That's where I want you to be. Just don't want you to be doing it the same easy way for 20 years. Let's keep getting better, right? Life's too short. So now we're gonna do the rock and roll. We're gonna start right up here and thin down the product. So I'm gonna make sure, depending on how thick the nail is, my objective is that I wanna get as close to the natural nail as I can without digging in. So here I am just thinning down the product and then now rocking down the nail. I tend to think this vibrates a little more and prefer like a little hybrid method, but it really becomes whatever your personal preference is. What I don't recommend is going like this all over the nail back and forth because those carbides only really successfully cut in one direction. Okay, so if that's where your comfort level is, that's okay. We are running at 30,000 RPMs. Some people are like, that's way too high, but carbide needs speed, you guys. If you wanna learn about the top 3 tips I have for removing product, check out the other video that I'm gonna go ahead and tag in the comments and all the things, because that's the #1 thing that people do is they run their efile too slow. And you know what? Instead of showing you how to do it quickly, I'm gonna show you what happens when we run it too slow. Here we are, 10,000 RPMs, which is usually where a lot of my students are in removal classes. Should we start counting how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? How many passes? It actually is smoother on my hands and my clients, but it's not like, you actually like feel it catch. Because I don't have the speed. So then what do people do? Dig, dig, dig. We don't want that. We want to allow the bit to do the work. I'm doing so many more extra passes. All right, screw that. I'm turning my speed up. And I'm just gently gonna go right over that color. I'm just being a little more cautious because I also know that I've already moved some product. My objective here is just to get the color off as quick as possible. We're always setting stretch goals. Removal should be under 10 minutes. If you're under 10 minutes and you're like at 7 minutes, you are a champion. But then my question is, how do the nails look underneath? That just popped right off, all right? For those of you who are building your confidence, this is a good spot. I usually actually myself stop right there because then I'm gonna use my sanding band or my diamond barrel, whatever I have available, and I'm going to reduce my RPMs. I'm in diamond, I'm doing 11,000 RPMs. Look at it just come off, right? Like I don't have to get all tense and like pit out. Just switch. Switch your tool. You don't need to have a bunch. This is also gonna help me if there's any lifting, like right there. I'm just gonna tap it out, tap it out, tap it out. I just turned it down real quick so I could just do the prepping right there. This is not product, but it's just a little bit of cuticle. Fantastic. You guys check out the bits at my Erica's ATA website. Cheat yourself. Tools matter. Check out Erica's AT, go to the carbide page and check out all the different ways that our tools and techniques can set you up for success. Quick product removal matters. Tools matter. Go to our website, start shopping. If you have any questions, send us a message. We're here to set you up for success. So for our removal process, I showed you guys 2 different techniques on how to remove product. The first bit I used was our Erica's Smooth Safety Top, and I use it at 25,000 RPMs pulling down the product or doing the rock and roll. Then if I had a little bit of product left, I use the Erica's Crosscut Barrel in medium. I use this tool for if I had a little bit of color right on the edge, or if I had a little bit of lifting, I would just tap it out. I decided to use the diamond bit over the carbide because the teeth are more grabby, and right when I go through that lifting, I did not want to be on the nail plate. Diamond allows me to have that scratching action, so I felt a little more safe. And lastly, she's got beautiful cuticles to start with. I don't have a lot of work. This model comes to me regularly, so I just took my small tapered barrel, medium grit, indicated by the blue band, and at about 7,000 RPMs, using forward and reverse, I just smoothed everything down, removed the dead cuticle, also used it as a pusher, pushed in the proximal fold. And if you want to take a look at the nail from the different angles, I still have my product on for my last service, so I know I'm not breaking down that integrity. That's why I don't like to soak. I want to make sure that I'm only prepping once, but I'm also making sure there's no lifting. Everything has been smoothed out by either my carbide or my diamond bit, and now I'm ready for product application. Absolutely stunning. What's so nice about this is if you continue to do dry manicuring regularly, we're training our cuticles that we're not creating trauma due to overcutting. We're smoothing everything out, which makes my manicures in the long run a lot faster, okay? Beautiful. There's so much satisfaction in removal. The biggest thing is wherever you're at today, continue to stretch yourself. You guys saw me do removal in so many different ways, but the thing is efficiency and safety matter. I strongly recommend using a carbide. When you get down to the scary part, switch out to a sanding band or a diamond, okay? It's that easy. We love you guys. If you see that little bell, like, subscribe, do the things, and tell us how we can set you up for success. Now, start practicing.